Hey, what's up, everybody? My name is Shanese Danae, and I have my lovely, lovely soon-to-be husband,
Matt. Okay. I started to say Matty Matt official, but that feels weird coming out my mouth.
Why?
I don't know.
Matty Matt official.
Or Matty Matt. Matty Matt sounds good when other people say it.
Yeah.
But I'm Matt. Or Matty Matt.
Yes. Well, we wanted to start this podcast because, we wanted to...
Wait.
What?
This is the Love Wire podcast.
I
Welcome.
was getting there.
Oh, okay. My bad. Continue. My bad.
When we start over?
No.
Oh, okay. All right. Well, the name of our podcast is The Love Wire.
The Love Wire.
Yes, The Love Wire. And you want to tell them why we named it The Love Wire?
Well, it was kind of your idea.
Yeah, it was. It was. Well, see, y'all, he's so obsessed with this show called The Wire. I'm pretty sure if you don't know what The Wire is, then I don't know where you've been all your life. But, yeah, he's super obsessed over this show.
Yeah,
like, he still watches the reruns.
Yeah, I think I watched it like 6 times. Like, the entire 6 seasons, like 6 times.
Yes, so that's where we got The Wire from. We was going to name this show Love Is, but too many people have that name. But nobody has The Love Wire. Yeah. Nobody.
And so, looking into why we wanted to start a podcast, I think it was important for us to kind of provide, some game and some advice to, old couples, young couples, just give our experience and how we were able to maintain for 12 going on 13 years.
Yes, It's been a long time coming.
Yeah. Yeah, and so what we want to do in this podcast, we want to, do a segment every podcast called the Love Jones segment. Okay, so for those of you that don't know, Love Jones is a movie starring Lorenz Tate, Nia Long, where Lorenz Tate is a poet, and he is courting Nia Long's character. The name of her character,
I forget her name.
Yeah, but he's courting her. So we want to start every podcast with a love poem. And today's poem is: Love is composed of a single soul inhabiting 2 bodies.
Ooh, that's powerful.
So when you hear that, what are some things that come to mind?
You know what? Honestly, it's true. I feel like when you love someone, it's one body. Like you function as if it's 2 of you guys. You don't function in a selfish way, because that's just not. It's not how it is. If we're going to be honest, like if you want your relationship to work, it takes 2. So when you make your decisions, you contact or address it against one another. I can't talk, y'all.
Yeah, you move as a unit, basically. You become one. So what that means to me is just you're thinking on the same accord. You're moving on the same accord. You're always in unison with the person you're spending that time with. And so the first question of our official podcast is how, because we've been in quarantine since what, March?
Some people have been in quarantine earlier, right? Or no, just like mid-March to now?
For a long time.
For a very long time.
People have been in quarantine for a long time.
Yes.
And so my question is, how do you think quarantine can impact relationships?
Honestly, I feel like this is the time where you get to know your partner, I feel like a lot of people, I read somewhere that a lot of people are starting to get divorces or putting in their paperwork for divorces because they've been like locked up with their significant others.
You find out who you married. You find out who you decided to be with.
Yeah. Well, I think another thing too is that you don't realize
and some people don't like that.
What?
When they find out who they married and who they want to be with.
What you trying to say?
Nothing. I'm just trying to give you the game of why that's happening. That's all.
Okay. You took that long, dragged out pause. I thought you was trying to tell me something.
No. I'm just seeing the other side is all.
Okay. Well,
I love you.
I love you too.
Okay.
What was I going to say? See, y'all, he done got me distracted, and I forgot what I was about to say.
Quarantine. You said you read somewhere that people are getting divorced and
because
into relationships.
Yeah, that's true. I just feel like there's a lot of people that are now getting divorced, but I think a lot of it has to do with when you're in a relationship, even if you're married, you're still like growing. You know, you're forever growing. I don't think people realize that. Like you're changing constantly. There's certain things that you once loved or liked, you know, and then you don't like it anymore. You know, it's good to pay attention to that.
Yeah. Yeah. And I think also the dynamics of the household are changing. So, you know, one spouse may lose their job, another spouse may still be working and required to be the breadwinner, or both people may be losing their job and trying to figure out how to accommodate, you know, that change in income. You know, we didn't do no research, but I believe I remember that, you know, the number one cause of divorces is financial issues, financial stress.
Yeah.
So a time like this, you know, it increases
test the
that
limits,
change.
y'all.
Yeah, test the limits. And you just have to you know, be able to work through hard times. You know what I mean? Because this is definitely a hard time.
Yeah, it is. It is. It takes a lot of patience too. You know, like I feel like, especially like even me, like I went through. Okay, so here's the thing. I've been working, y'all. Working. I've been working, but I feel like I haven't been taking care of myself like emotionally. And thank God that I have him because like he puts me in my place. Like he's my balance. You know what I mean? So I feel like it's important to even have that.
Yeah, we have animals running rampant.
Yeah, sorry y'all. If you guys hear the background, that's why I took that long dramatic pause.
But yeah, I think that you know, I could say the same thing. I mean, if it'd be hard to go through something like this by myself. So just seeing her every day do what she loves and you know, fight through those tough emotions of not being where not being in a position where you think you should be. Because the thing is, Shanese thinks that
that put my business out there.
Because you just think that you're not. I mean, I think you know you're successful, but I think sometimes you think that you are less successful than you are.
That's so true. I feel like a lot of people look up to me in a way, and sometimes I think to myself like I don't know why, because I'm like I'm still fighting for what I want, and I'm not there. So it's hard for me to see what they see.
Right. But being somebody that sees the work every day, you know what I mean, especially in this quarantine time, I think it's important that you realize that you have accomplished a lot.
Oh, thanks, babe.
And so that's what quarantine does. It allows you to see your significant other in a way that you didn't get to see them before. You know what I mean? Because at one point we were both super busy and you know, the only time we really seen each other was in the mornings going getting ready to leave and
at night about to go to sleep.
Right. So yeah, so you get to see your spouse in a way that you know you just haven't, you know. And I also think that the quarantine changes a little bit of perspective when it comes to preparation in relationships.
What do you mean by that?
Because who would have thought that, you know, we'd have been losing jobs and having to switch like those roles in the house like I talked about earlier.
Yeah.
So now you have to think about to prepare. I mean, like I know in Florida we kind of think about like what are we going to do in a hurricane? You know what I'm saying? But you also had to think about like what are you going to do in a time of crisis? You know?
Yeah, so. That's powerful. That's true. All right. So the next question, guys, is how can you tell a relationship will last? Now, that's a good one.
How can you tell a relationship will last?
Yes.
I always go to, you know, how do you argue? Like how are you during an argument and how are you after an argument? I think that says a lot about if you're going to be able to maintain that relationship.
Yes. Are you willing to listen? Or are you just thinking about your next attack?
Yeah, I mean that. I think, especially like with the newer generations, I think they fall so much into this puppy love and this, you know,
the ideal of love, but really it's just lust.
Yeah, I mean, not only just lust, but with any relationship, there's good and bad feelings. You know what I mean? Like there's frustrations, there's anger, and I worry when I see a couple that I know, and they promote things to be only happy, only good.
Yeah,
You know
because
I mean?
it's not always happy. It's not always happy.
Right.
Definitely not. Yeah.
Right. Not that you got to put your business out there, but I'm just talking about like personal relationships that I know that, like I remember I was talking to one of my friend of mine, and he was talking about the argument they had. I was like, oh, so y'all had an argument, so y'all should be good now. He was like, oh no, we don't argue like that. That's not really what we do. And I was like, oh, okay, well.
Like, who you trying to fool? Okay.
Yeah. So yeah, I think that's the biggest thing. Also, I think you have to be able to be honest with your partner, and that goes really for
everything,
for any relationship. Like I need you to be able to check me. I need you to be able to, tell me.
Even though he don't like to be checked, y'all. He don't like to be checked.
Nobody does though. who likes to be checked?
Yeah, this is true. Yeah,
do you like to be checked?
I mean, not really, but I don't get like,
She don't be listening.
I do listen.
No, you don't.
You don't think I listen?
When somebody else tells you.
I got better over the years.
Let me tell you how many times I would get this woman advice, and it'd be bars. You know what I'm saying? It'd be bars, and she won't take heed to it. But she'll go watch a YouTube video of some random person. Like, babe, guess what? And it makes so much sense too. Oh my God.
And y'all, he looks at me like I'm crazy too. He be looking at me like I just said that.
And I'm like, I just told you that. That's like what I said verbatim.
I know. I don't know. It just happens sometimes.
Yeah. So what are some things that you would say that you can tell that a relationship will last? How did you know it was going to last with me?
Honestly, okay, so with him, it was, I think, no. All right, so for me at first, especially like the type of personality that I am, I kind of have, like, I'm kind of controlling in a way. They don't run around no other time. They don't run around no other time, but now they want to run all the way around. We have 2 cats, y'all. They're doing the most right now. But anyway, so for me, I think it was like how you looked at me, how you listened to me. And I can tell that you, like, when you looked at me, I can tell that you really, like, loved me for me. Like, with all the flaws and everything, and I felt comfortable and confident with you. So that's what made me want to be with you. But starting out, I was afraid of commitment, not like, hoish in it or anything like that. That's not even a word, but it is a word today.
Okay.
Not in that way. It's just more of like I didn't want to have my heart broken, so I was just protecting myself and protecting my little box. Mm-hmm. But to see how it can work, going back to the whole question, I think it depends on the person. I feel like I can't really give that advice. Once you know. Because I feel like if somebody's wasting your time and they're bringing more negative energy in your life, then obviously that's somebody that may not be a good fit for you. A lot of people feel like, especially in the younger generation, they feel like they need to be with someone because, they did something that they bought me a gift and he does make me happy, and then they contemplate back and forth if that person is really for them. If you got to question it, it ain't for you. Right.
And I think that goes into like setting boundaries too. I think know your worth. That's for anything, not just relationships.
Yeah. Sure.
Know your worth. Know what you want out of a relationship. Know what you are willing to sacrifice for the relationship. Because I think that's another thing that goes into how you know it will last. Is that person willing to sacrifice for you?
That's a good one. Yeah, because you definitely do need to sacrifice a lot. I feel like both of us have sacrificed a lot. I feel like you sacrificed more than I did, though.
Explain. What do you mean?
Well, I mean, I feel like, okay, guys, so I'm very spontaneous. I'm that kind of girl that would just jump and keep it moving. Like, for him, he went to the same school as I did, when I say school, I'm talking about college. He followed me there. You followed me to Florida. You sacrificed a lot.
Yeah, I mean, but I think those are things that we wanted together.
Yeah, that's true. But that's still sacrificing, though, because it was something that I wanted.
Yeah, but I mean, I wanted that, too. When I think of what I sacrificed, I would say...
a few jobs. He sacrificed a few jobs, y'all.
Yeah, I sacrificed some jobs.
Because I was like, I don't think it's a good fit.
I think I sacrificed because like I'm introvert, high introvert. So so a sacrifice for me is because I think in the beginning of our relationship, I ain't like being around people I didn't know. Didn't care to go to places. Didn't
Lord.
in college like I ain't go out. You know what I'm saying? So
people probably think he's a weirdo, y'all.
But I had to be okay with you being the opposite of that though.
Yeah. Ooh, that's a good one.
Yeah.
Because we are complete opposites, but it works. It works. We balance each other out. Like
yeah.
But I'm not the type of person that like has to always go out either. But when I go out, I'm going out.
You know what else I hate? I hate like you go to hibachi.
He don't like sitting next to people, y'all.
Like I hate going to a hibachi when it's just me and her. Because then they sit you with a group of people. and I'm
then
there.
I start talking to my neighbor.
Yes, and I'm there just trying to eat my food, enjoy it. And then she goes talking to the person next to her. She's so friendly.
Well, you have to talk to people.
And she's so friendly.
Rude. You have to talk to people.
You don't have to talk to people.
Okay, I feel like you do because I feel like if they're bringing good energy. See, for me, it's all about the energy. If you bring good energy into my life,
nothing to do with energy.
For me, it does. If someone brings in good energy and they're like having a conversation, I'm not going to be rude and just stare at the people. I'm going to talk.
Good energy to you is somebody saying hi.
No, I'm an empath. It's way more than that. See, he don't know about that.
Listen,
y'all.
we be at the hibachi. She be speaking to the person next to her, and she's so friendly, and then they just assume that I'm so friendly, and so they looking at me like, "Are you going to engage, sir?" No.
Yeah, they do be looking at you, but you know what? I am going to stop talking to people on the plane so much though, because then they don't know how to shut up. I'll be like, all right, I'm done talking to you. I don't want to talk no more. And if they breath stink, I really be mad. Yeah. And that's real talk. That is a real talk.
Yeah, and I think this made me think about like kind of like the dynamic of our relationship. I think people, and tell me if you agree.
Go ahead, I'm listening. I'm looking at you.
Because I think for the most part, people look at me like I'm the mean one, like I have a short temper.
Oh yeah, they do. But it's the opposite.
It's the opposite.
It is the opposite.
I don't have a short temper. I'm just not friendly.
Yeah.
I'm actually very nice.
He is. He's super nice, y'all. He's a big teddy bear.
But Shanese is the one with the short temper.
I am very short fused.
But Definitely. She's the most friendly of the two.
So does that make me crazy? I don't know.
I tell people all the time, just as nice and bubbly as you see her is just as bad as she can get.
But you're making me sound like a monster.
Not a monster, but I'm just giving the dynamics because it's funny how people view us.
Yeah, that's true.
I just think it's funny how people
are so
view us.
Judgmental too. Like they just think they know your whole life, your whole relationship.
Do they?
Well, no, not really. Well, not when it comes to us, because I think we've always been private. Like always been private. Mm-hmm. And I feel like I don't know, like all that, like we don't really we do need to take more pictures though. Cause like, what if I die?
That's another sacrifice. Taking pictures.
He don't like taking pictures, y'all. He does not like taking pictures. But we need to start taking pictures. Like, what if, like, what if I die?
We got this. We got the logo.
This is so annoying.
We got the logo.
That's one thing we're going to do in 2020, in 2021. We're going to take more pictures.
Well, we got a wedding, so we can take pictures there.
Yeah, I know. Well, that doesn't count. I'm talking about, like, me and you. Like, oh, we're out to eat today. Oh, look, my yogurt. It's like, no, we're not going to do all that because that's real extra.
But you do that.
Okay, but I'm just saying. No, I don't. Not with the yogurt.
Listen.
I got better. I don't
You take food pictures all the time.
Not anymore. Babe,
you sure about that?
I'm positive. I don't take pictures like that anymore. I do want to take more like, out and about pictures and have you take pictures.
So do you think that if a relationship is public, it can't last, or is it harder to last if it's public?
I feel like opening your relation to the public opens the door to a lot of opinions, and I feel like nobody needs to have an opinion on you and your significant other, period. That's just how I feel.
Yeah.
So when people are like, you don't really do this or you don't, I'm like, yeah, it's really none of your business. That's how I look. That's real talk. Even while we record this podcast though.
So do you think that a relationship could last publicly?
I think so. I think
Okay.
only because I feel like we have a really strong foundation. Like,
What are some things that that may hurt a relationship if it's public?
I feel like I think opening your relationship to the public kind of opens a lot of doors for insecurities. Rather if that's like, I don't know, it could be anything really. It could be physically, it could be mentally.
Social media is a drug.
It is. It is
definitely a drug. Like I know some people who are off of social media because they don't want the temptation.
Because they don't want to what?
They don't want the temptation.
Oh.
Like they don't have profiles. They don't, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And that's like kind of an agreement they have in their relationship. I think that's a good compromise.
It is, but.
But if you can't stop your temptation, I don't know.
Yeah, because temptation can come from any kind of forms. Right. Like you could be walking down the street and say, "Oh, look at her, look at him." Like it can come any direction. Like social media allows you to keep everything organized.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. It's weird. And then some people have like joint social media accounts. Yeah.
Why do you can you guys leave me a rating down below and let me know. First of all, rate us and let me know, why do you share your Facebook with your significant other? Like, what's the purpose? And I seriously ask this because I really want to know. This is something that Matt and I will never do.
Why?
Because I don't know. Like I'm not sharing the Facebook with you.
You got to give a reason. If you're going to say that you're not with it.
Well, because I feel
what's
like,
the reason?
Well, first of all, we don't always like the same things. You have your own personality and I have my own personality. So I feel like it just gives us our own things, you know? Like,
and I see your social media feed and I do not want to see a bunch of women talking about their lashes and makeup.
Well, see, there you go.
Not interested.
Exactly. See, that's what I mean. We're not into the same things. Now, we are in a way, but no.
Yeah, it also goes into the whole temptation thing too, because if you're that worried, and I don't want to cast judgment on anybody, but if you're that concerned to where you need a joint account, then there may need to be some other discussions.
Yeah.
That need to happen.
I agree. What about, that's like almost like I'm going to bring up a topic.
Okay.
Do you have the password to your significant other's cell phone?
Do what you asking me?
No, yeah, the people want to know.
I do.
I do too. We've always did. I don't remember a time that I didn't.
You didn't always have it.
I didn't.
Full disclosure, you didn't always have it. No,
I didn't. Oh, did I did I make you give it to me?
I don't think you made me give it to you, but there was a point in time where I wouldn't give it to you.
Oh, really? Because you was doing things.
Maybe.
The truth comes out.
You know the truth, so don't do that. Yeah, she know the truth.
Yeah, I know the truth, y'all. I know the truth because he's always been transparent with me.
We never had that discussion though about passwords and phones. I'm just saying that there was a point in time where if you would have asked me, you wouldn't have got it.
Yeah, maybe like 10 years ago.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think for us it was just like natural. It was like, I don't know.
What's mine is yours type of thing.
That, and if you don't have anything to hide, then it's not a big deal.
Yeah, you don't have like that high anxiety. Doesn't cheating give you like high anxiety? Just wondering. I feel like I would have high anxiety. But I'm a high anxiety kind of individual.
Speaking from the male perspective, a lot of males do not have anxiety about
really
cheating.
Seriously?
A lot of males don't. That's why
they just want to point.
Mm-hmm.
Oh. If you put it that way. I have a couple of friends that just prefer to boink.
Define boink.
Oh, boink is boink. You don't know what boinking is? Boinking is like
I know,
having
but
sex.
that's a real silly way to.
To say it. You don't appreciate the boinking?
It sound like an old saying.
It is.
Boinking.
I got an old self.
Oh man. Oh man. But yeah, I mean, it just came natural. It was just like one day. It was just like, can I see your phone real quick? And what's the password? It was that
Pretty
simple.
much. Okay, guys. So the next thing that we're going to talk about is a traditional relationship. Are there still traditional relationships in 2020?
Okay. So I think there are. I think people still do live traditional relationships, and what we mean by traditional relationships is the male and female role. So there's a lot of like old school men and women who just have certain ways that they believe a relationship should be. So like that whole male chauvinist thing where men open the door, men take out the trash, men are the breadwinners, men don't really raise the kids, men just provide, and the women raise the kids, that type of thing. Men don't cook, those type of things. I think those types of relationships do still exist, but I don't think they are as prevalent in younger generations.
Yeah, I definitely have to agree with that because our relationship is definitely not traditional whatsoever. Even though we really do balance each other out. But no, I have to agree with that. I feel like there's more people that are non-traditional, at least in our generation, because I can only speak for our generation, which would be millennials.
Yeah, I guess you can call me a millennial. I guess so.
You don't define yourself as a millennial.
I believe there's a gap. I believe there's a gap between like if you were born, like I'm gonna say like from 87, 88 to like 93-ish, 94. I think that group is unique in the sense that because when you think about millennials, most people say that millennials have been, pacified by technology. But I think that group that I mentioned, 87 to like 93, 94, we grown up with some older technology with the new technology. Like we didn't start out with computers everywhere. I know I didn't.
Yeah, that's
with
true.
computers everywhere, with CDs. Like I remember playing tapes. You know what I'm saying? Like I remember having a Walkman, a tape Walkman. You know what I mean? So
And writing in the phone book.
yeah, I remember where you could look up anybody in a phone book. Like I remember those. I remember those times. So I mean that's my little spill on being a millennial. I think there's a gap. And like if you're born after like late 94 on or 95 on, I think those are the individuals that sort of grew up with an abundance of technology.
Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah.
But millennials, I agree that they do have more non-traditional relationships, and I think that ours is kind of a mix, because there's still certain things that I'm not gonna let you do.
Like what?
You're not pumping gas.
That's true. I never pump gas.
Like I feel a way if you take the trash out.
You feel some type of way when I take the trash out?
Yeah, like if you take the trash out, like I feel like I should have did that.
Oh.
Like stuff like that, I think is still relevant. Like when it comes to like car stuff, I think that's my responsibility.
Yeah, I feel the same way. Y'all, I need to get better at washing clothes. That's how I feel. The way he feels is how I feel about washing clothes.
Yeah, well, glad you said it.
Yeah, I mean, it's true.
Yeah.
I always feel bad. Like when I see him washing clothes, I feel bad. And then it's like I don't know what to do. So I just
help.
let him wash the clothes.
What do you mean help?
Huh?
So what do you mean you don't know what to do? Just help.
I know, but it's like it's more to it. It's like, cause okay, so here's the thing. I have it in my mind. Okay, I'm gonna wash clothes on this day. Okay. So the way that my brain works, I have to do things on my schedule, on my time. So if anything disrupts that, I get shook. I get shooked up. Like I know. Don't shake your head at me.
But I grab that trash bag from you, don't I?
Yeah, you do. Okay, so I'm gonna get better.
I don't.
I really sound like a super prissy girl, but I'm really not.
I don't like. there's no hesitation in me hopping out that car, pumping the gas. Like I don't even give you the opportunity to even think about it.
Yeah. Is it still recording?
It should be.
Yeah, so I mean that's definitely something that I want to do better on. Like certain things that he does, like if he's like washing clothes or if he's like starts cooking, I'm like, what? But he could cook though.
Got to.
You could cook.
Got to. I think you got to know.
Like I really think you should have been like in culinary school somewhere.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
But I think it's important just to be. I mean, and this is one of the reasons why, like, the traditional roles I never really agree with. Because I think it's important for you to just to be a functional adult. I think cooking and being able to wash clothes is like normal adult activities that you should know how to do.
And then too, not only that, like I feel like you should have like it's 50-50 roles. Like it's not like you add a list. You only do this. You only do that. Because I feel like, after a while, you get tired of doing it. That's why I was like, oh, I gotta wash clothes next week.
Yeah. But I mean, and that's not to knock anybody that does. Like, if that's the way your relationship works, by all means.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, you have to do what works for you. And if that's something that is not being causing up disruption with your relationship, then it's fine.
Yeah, it's a lot of independent ladies out here, man. That just wanna pay their own bills.
Yeah.
They wanna stunt like the men do too.
With that being said, though, I feel like women that are like strong and want to do like bring in their own income and all these things, I feel like sometimes it's hard to let someone do things for you in a relationship. And I know I struggle with that a lot, like a lot, guys, because I've always, since I was like 14, I've been working my butt off, like trying to feed myself and buy myself things that I loved. And for me to put my trust in Matt to do things for me was really, really hard. And I still struggle a little bit. I got a lot better, but...
Yeah. So how did you get to a point where you felt more comfortable with letting go of some of those responsibilities?
When I realized that it was causing me to be a little bit controlling of... I felt like it was causing me to be controlling a little bit, like borderline controlling, as well as it was giving me a lot of anxiety. Because I was worried about certain things, if things would be done the way that I would do it, and all these, sometimes you just have to fall back and just let it happen. And that's what I did. I just fell back. And
how long did that take you?
How long? Oh, it took me a long time. And
years?
Yeah.
Okay.
It definitely took me years. It definitely took me I want to say 10 years. 10 long years, because I've always been so independent. And I went, I'm sounding bad, as if I never depended on Matt. I do depend on you, for sure. Especially when it comes to emotionally. It's just certain things that it's I can do it, I'm going to do it, So rather if that's working and all of those things, it's I feel like I can do it.
Yeah. And I think there's a reason for some of those feelings. I mean, I think it's very, very true that women mature faster than men. Yeah. And I think earlier on in our relationship, I wasn't mature enough to be a provider for you or to take that load off of you.
That's true. So
a big reason why it took so long for me to propose to you, because I felt like I needed to be in a position where I was stable, not just financially and career-wise, but mentally.
Yeah, because it's a big commitment. Yeah, that's true.
Because, going back to the traditional roles.
Ooh, Ricket.
Going back to the traditional roles, I do adhere to some of them in the sense that, at least as a man, I need to hold my own.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And be able to be a provider and be able to hold down a household if my lady can't, or if my lady needs help, or if just pull my weight. You feel what I'm saying? Like that's just what I wanted to do, and I don't think I've always been able to do that. And like I know, like I wasn't with you when you was 14, but I was with you when you was 16, 17.
I know it's only 2 years apart.
So I know I've added to some of that.
Yeah. No, I don't. Not only that though, I don't think that you were the one that added to that. I think it was how I was raised and how I grew up. That, I had an older sister. My mom and my dad was doing their own thing, and they were going through their own, emotional issues. That I felt like I didn't have a choice but to step up and take care of myself to make sure I was getting fed and doing. Right. Not that they were bad parents. My parents are wonderful, but when people go through things, they don't really pay attention to what's surrounding them and what's around them. You know what I mean?
Well, while you think about that, what are some fair and unfair expectations in a relationship?
Fair and unfair?
Expectation. Like when you're going into a relationship, or if you're in a relationship and you have expectations, you have expectations.
I think the expectations which that are unfair would definitely be like how you want someone to look, like their appearance, and I feel like that is something that is unfair that you should not bring up ever. Y'all, he did that to me one time. That's a story time.
The time where I was
He told me he wanted me to be like who was it? Carrie Hilson?
No, it was Beyonce.
That was funny. That was so
yeah,
funny.
it wasn't a fine moment.
Yeah, it definitely wasn't a fine moment. I think it was more like we were young. We've been together for a long time, guys. This is
Yeah, I was like 18 at the time. I was at Pittsburgh.
Yeah. No, you were 17. I was 18.
Oh, so this was before college then.
Oh no. Well, you're right. You were 18 because I was at Clarion. And I remember it like it was yesterday. I was in my dorm room. Well,
you was a year ahead of me too, so you might. I don't know. I don't remember.
No. Yeah, no. You weren't at Bradford yet. You were still in high school, and I was at college in Clarion.
Because I remember where I was when I sent that text.
Do you?
I do.
I was like, did he really just send this to me?
Oh man.
Oh, how far we have come, y'all. Like, listen.
Yeah, I don't even remember what started that. Like, I think I was getting upset with. I don't know. I don't remember. I just remember me just having a picture of Beyonce in my head, and it's like that's who I want her to be.
That's who I want her to be like. I was like, you crazy, boy. Bye.
Oh man.
I ain't gonna be no one but Shanese. I think that's what I responded. I was like, nope.
Oh man. Yeah.
That was kind of funny. Now that a lot of the things that have went on in our relationship is literally hilarious. Like talking about it.
It's hilarious. I feel embarrassed.
Why do you?
I don't know.
I mean, but it's a part of the growing process. Like these are the things that, especially when you're in a relationship young, you're growing with that person. Like we literally grew up together.
Right, but boys are still stupid.
Yeah, y'all are.
Like we're still stupid. Like that was real stupid.
That was definitely a stupid thing to say, but I literally got a laugh out of that for like months. But
when it came to because I know you went through a lot of hair phases.
Oh, I did. I went through a whole lot of hair
and
phases.
I never gave you anything about that.
You didn't.
I always told you to do
what I wanted to do.
Right.
And then a part of me feels like you didn't really have a choice either.
I didn't. But it's just one of those things. I mean, again, it goes into sacrifice. It's like, is that a fight I'm willing to have? You know what I'm saying? Like, is that a hill I'm willing to die on?
Yeah.
Because at the end of the day, that's controlling. Telling you what to do with your hair.
Yeah, it is controlling.
So it's just one of those times where you just got to man up and be like, I mean, not even man up. It's not even about being a man. It's about accepting a person for who they are. Mm-hmm. Like how I always looked at it was like, if I love you, it ain't gonna be because of what your hair looks like.
Yeah, it's not gonna be because of your hair. I did go through a lot of hair changes.
I think some unfair expectations. Like you can't change people. You know what I'm saying? Like, you can't, no matter how hard you tried or how hard you want it to, you want a person to change.
That is so true.
They're not going to change. You know, so I think an unfair expectation is you going into a relationship with a vision of who you want a person to be.
Well, I think we should probably like identify that as like, do you mean like a personality change? Because people can change, but
Personality doesn't change. Counselor speaking.
okay, that was my whole point. Because you did, like, you saying that people can't change, but
Personality doesn't change.
exactly.
What I'm saying is that you can't go into a relationship expecting a person to change their personality.
Okay, yeah. I just wanted you to for the the people listening. I just wanted you to specify. Why are you coming for me? I know you a counselor.
But I'm talking about personality. I'm talking about looks. I'm talking about everything.
Well, you can people can change in regards to behaviors. It may take time.
People can grow.
Oh, that's actually a good way of putting it.
Like,
yeah,
but
like that.
You can't project the growth though. You have to.
You definitely can't. I've been growing for 10 years over here.
You have to ride. You have to ride with the person. You can't. I can't go into it like, okay, I want Shanice to be a lawyer. I want Shanice to grow into a lawyer.
Yeah, right.
I can't do that, right?
Yeah.
That's not fair.
It's not. That's true.
So you have to go into a relationship with minimal expectations outside of like what your boundaries are.
Yeah.
Like, I'm not about to be abused. I'm not about to be taken advantage of. Stuff like that. Yeah. Like you make sure that
stand your ground.
Yeah. But with everything else, I think, you got to kind of go with the flow and watch for the red flags.
Yep. And all the things that Matt's talking about, I feel like that is literally the key points to knowing if your relationship will last. Like circling back to the beginning of the podcast, those are the things that you need to pay attention to. We got Milo on the mic.
I think he's telling us to wrap up. Are you hungry, sir?
Yeah, he's probably hungry.
Yeah. But yeah, and what are some fair expectations, do you think? Some fair expectations to have in a relationship, even though we just talked about, like, yeah, you can't have expectations.
I talked about that in the beginning, no? You didn't?
No, we talked about unfair.
Oh, fair Okay, so some of the fair, let me think. Some of the fair expectations.
I think
the fair expectation would be just to love the person for who they are. That's fair. Or is that too generic?
I mean, I expect you to have good hygiene.
Oh, okay.
I think that's a fair
I
expectation.
guess that is definitely fair. Yeah, that's a good one. I mean, I guess I was just thinking that, if you with someone, ooh. Yeah, good hygiene for sure.
Good hygiene is a fair expectation.
Yeah, that is a fair expectation.
I think...
He's over here spitting jewels, guys. I wasn't ready.
I think if you're an adult, there's definitely some expectations as an adult. Like, I expect for you to be able to maintain stable employment.
Yeah.
I expect for you to be able to clean up after yourself, stuff like that.
See, I wasn't even thinking about it this way. Now I feel like I got to come back with something. Because those is good. But hygiene is definitely a good one. For me, I think it would be health. And when I'm not talking about like weight or anything like that. I'm talking about health so that way you're around longer, or doing anything possible so that way you can be around longer. Mm-hmm. Because for me personally, I think about, like, especially with you and I, babe, like, I want us to be around for our kids. Obviously you can't like predict that. Okay, so I think a lot of people don't make that an expectation in a relationship, but I do think that it's important. I think health is really important.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah, because I know, like, for me, I'm happier when I'm active and eating the right things and working out.
Same.
And I just think that, definitely like in college, like I was in a depression and let myself go, and that was kind of like probably some of the worst times of our relationship.
It was. Our college years. Oh, well, not all the years, but Majority.
I mean, not. I mean, it's not like we was at each other's heads all the time, but I think that when I think about those times, like
It's the trying times.
right, right,
It was a test. It was our college days was the test of our relationship. And honestly, I think going through that in college, experiencing all the things that we experienced, helped us with our relationship today.
mm-hmm.
Like, there's a lot of things. I feel like we really, really have a strong, foundation because of that. Yeah. And if you guys want us to get in more detail, make sure you tune into the next podcast.
Yeah, man. So yeah, I mean, this is our first podcast, and thanks for watching and.
You mean thanks for listening?
And watching.
Yes. Oh, and watching. Oh, yeah, we are recording this. I feel like my posture sucks, though, so I don't even know if I want this to go live. But listen, I just want to say, we want to say thank you so much for tuning in to the.
It's behind you.
I know, I couldn't get it out. I got
the Love Wire
the
podcast.
Love Wire. Okay, I'm gonna do that over. All right, guys. So that pretty much finishes up this podcast. We hope that you enjoyed it. Please make sure that you at least subscribe to us, but most importantly, make sure you rate us because that's the key point, right? But yeah, so we'll see you on the next episode 2 next week on the Love Wire.
The Love Wire. Thanks.
He's so dry. Bye, y'all.